All right, we're live. Today we got a subto deal. Subject deal means that you're buying a property subject to the existing financing, so you will be taking over the payments on the underlying loan. Okay. Now this property is a 4-bed, 2-bath, 19820 West Badgett Lane in Litchfield, Arizona. Never been here, so just gonna show you all exactly how I quickly look at this. And the first thing I want to just see whether or not it's even gonna cash flow. This is all the way out in West Phoenix. What county is this in? It's in Maricopa. Yes, in Maricopa. Okay, so now that I don't really have much photos here, there's a couple things. I just want to see if it's gonna cash flow, right? So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. So let's get some details here. Purchase price $438,000. Let's do an order market. Let's do order. Oh, this one because I was messing with a lot of 4-1s on it. All right, so I'm gonna do. Let's just open up this one. Goes click new address 19820 Litchfield. $628. All right, so now I got these numbers in here. Land front of the purchase price $438,349. $438,349. Renovations. I'm just wanting to paint on photos because I don't see any photos of this right now. 1872. That's gonna be $3 a square foot. 1872. I don't know what's going on with the flooring, so I'm gonna do equal to 1872 divided by 3. I'm still gonna replace the flooring in half of them. Got $1,500 for the roof, just in case there's some issues there. $500 for landscaping, so not much else. Maybe some termites. Okay, $1,000 for termites. Okay, that's pretty much all I'm gonna use for this one. All right, so now I'm gonna put in my numbers here. The renovations gonna equals to my rehab calculator. So I just kind of scroll all the way down here, make that equals to J230. That's gonna pull right through into my B6 number. Now for my rents, I'm gonna go to HUD FMR, and FMR stands for fair market rents. I'm gonna click on top first link up top on Google, and I'm click on access to small area FMRs. And look up FY 2024 FMRs, go to Arizona, go to Maricopa County, and I'm going to get the zip code, which is 85340. 85340. It's going to be right here. And I'm going to get the rent for a 4-bed. Ceiling rent is $37.90. Wow, that seems really high, right? $37.90. Okay, let's put this one here. $37.90. All right. FMR. 85340. 85340. Okay. Now I want to get the rents for a 4-bedroom of the market rents. And when I go to affordablehousing.com and I go to the owner section and I click on market rent and I plug in the address and I see the bedroom count right here. Okay. Now I can see that the average rent for 25 units within a 0.25 mile radius is $24.96. 2496, roughly 2,500. I'll plug in the rest of these numbers here just so I can have some sort of baseline on where the numbers actually look like. 2541. But if you were to underwrite this deal, assuming your rent was going to be $37.90, which is the ceiling, you will be mistaken. And why is that? Okay, I'm going to show you why. When we go to the Housing Choice Voucher Guidebook, HCV Housing Choice Voucher was formerly known as Section 8. They rebranded it because of all the bad connotation associated with Section 8. Now, if you go to 2.2 of this guidebook, it says right here, in conducting rent reasonableness, the PHA, or the Public Housing Authority, who administers all the vouchers, must determine whether the rent to the owner is a reasonable rent in comparison to rent for other comparable unassisted units, which means you can't charge more rent to somebody just simply because they're a voucher holder. You can't charge more rent than what the market is currently paying. And when you see a radius of 0.25 miles and you get 25 units rented, that seems like the reasonable rent because of the volume and the supply of rental units that's on the market. So there's no way they're going to allow you to get 3790. And if you underwrote this deal 3790, you will be mistaken. You will be grossly overestimating your numbers, and that could be a really, really bad sign of how you lose money. Okay. Now, let's go to type in the loan details, right? So now that I know, I'm going to use 2,500 as my rent because that's the lower of the two, right? Lower of the two numbers. I'm going to plug in the rest of the details right here. So let's get the details right here. PITI is 2409 and the mortgage balance is 426,698. Let me pull this over. 426,698.44. This is the 4.25% interest rate. Great interest rate. Don't get me wrong. 2052 maturity. So I'm going to put this as 2022, which is just 30 years before that. No balloon. Is there a 10-year balloon? Okay. So it has to be doing 10. And there's HOA of 176. All right. So right then here, you can probably figure out what the escrow amount is. If they tell you the total payment is 2409.34 equals 2409.34, you're going to go to the property tax number in cell B28, and you're going to subtract the principal portion of the loan and the interest portion of the loan. And that's going to get you to $310.24. All right. Now that you have that number in there, we're going to put in an additional maybe $30 for our insurance. And why we're doing that? That's because we typically expect the insurance premium for an investment property to be higher than your primary residence property, which is why we're adding $30 on top of it. Okay, now that you have that number, we set aside 10% for maintenance every single month. We got about $15 for servicing because we're going to be servicing the subto loan. And there's HOA 176, so that's going to be equals 15 for the servicing equals 15 plus 176, so it's $191. We got 10% for property management, 4% for vacancy. And before we even get to the cash and cash return number, you now know that you will be a negative cash flow and you're a negative 730. So right then and there, I mean, you can plug in the rest of the numbers you want for the entry fee, but right now this is a losing deal. You are not going to make money on this deal, and that's really because if you look at the rent reasonableness test and you apply the market rent, you will not be making money. If you mistakenly use 3790, which is the FMR, right? You might be thinking you're making 3790, even though that is supposed to include some utilities. You might be thinking you're making $250. So that's almost $1,000 swing from making $250 to losing $730. And that's hopefully the test that I really want to drive home with all of you today, so you guys can see how to underwrite a deal really quick, right? For this deal, when I saw that the PITI was 2409 plus another 176 HOA, so roughly 2,600, call it, and I saw that the marker was 2,500, I already knew that wasn't going to be a deal. I probably could have ruled out the deal right then and there, but I didn't because I wanted to show you all by walking through the numbers what the true negative cash flow number would be. And that's why we went through this process. If you were to say, hey, how to rule this out in 2 minutes, I probably would have looked at this property. I probably would have looked at the PITI. I would have looked at the hot FMR, and I said, okay, well, wow, 3790, that could make money. But then as soon as I looked at the market rent and I saw how close it is to the PITI, after you deduct 25% for maintenance, property management, and vacancy expenses, I already knew that was going to be a loser. And I could have stood the deal right there. So that's it. I hope you all, if you guys want to copy the spreadsheet, just go to affordablehousing.io, not .com, affordablehousing.io. Go click on the Get Deal Analysis tool and plug in your information. Promise I won't spam you. Just plug in your information. This has been the fastest way for me to get the spreadsheet out to all of you as soon as possible without having to wait for my VA to essentially underwrite the deal and do all this stuff. Okay. I hope you all have an amazing Friday. I hope you guys spend some quality time with your family and friends today. That's what life is all about. I'll be back here again tomorrow for day 273. Again, it's not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments at all on this call. Just simply showing you all the work that we do every single day to stay consistent. And my sincere hope is that you take my spreadsheet that I've gotten from a few other folks and I just tweaked it and made it my own so that we can underwrite these deals really quick and then underwrite the deals on your own YouTube channel. And hopefully you can build the confidence to pull the trigger when a deal comes across your table and presents itself to you. All right. I hope you all have an amazing day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow for day 273. Have a good one, everybody.